all the kids are now having to pitch in to try to be able to fill that gap. So long-term care insurance is a way to help cover that later in life. Not only pay for that, but also to have some skilled people to lift off that burden from the kids to be able to be there to help mom today. So those are all different types of coverages that you may want to look at. I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure that you got your documents in order. Key things you want to look at is, first and foremost, you want to make sure that anything that you could put a beneficiary on, that you put a beneficiary on it. So think about your IRAs, think about your 401ks, think about any investment accounts that you have. You want to make sure that those have beneficiaries attached to them, because they can pass through your families or your charities that you're so inclined, free and clear, without having to go through probate. If anybody's ever had to deal with probate, it is not a fun experience to have to deal with probate. We had an example. I'll give you another example of taking care of your beneficiaries, and you want to check these every year. We had a client who every year we do a beneficiary audit, and we did an audit of all the investments that they had with the company, and we asked him to double check his beneficiaries on his 401k. Well, he said, "No, I don't need to check it. I know I've already listed my wife on there." And come to find out, the company changed vendors on the 401k. So it was one company, and now it's been transferred to a new company. Well, what happened was, in that transfer, his beneficiaries didn't transfer over to the new company. So his spouse was not listed as a beneficiary. He ended up passing, had a big IRA. If you don't know the rules with not having beneficiaries listed on your 401ks or IRAs, that money has to be distributed immediately if there's no beneficiary elected.
Is that like a survivor statement?
No, it's just you have to list. If you do not list a beneficiary, it's an IRS rule that money has to be liquidated.
What I mean by survivor statement, all the living relatives.
No, it's not. It's just
What do they distribute it to? Is really my question.
Oh, they would have to distribute it to the spouse. Yeah, they distribute it to the spouse. Yeah, because what happens if you then it goes distributed to the estate, and then whoever is the executive of the estate is going to distribute those funds the way they're supposed to be distributed. But it gets distributed out of the account, which is the big thing, which causes all the taxes. So you think about it, think about what you have saved for retirement, either your IRAs.
It's going to be taxed instead of just going straight to.
All going to be taxed that one year. So
if you don't have
the beneficiary.
If you don't have it.
If you have the beneficiary, you get over the tax.
It's for the immediate tax. You can stretch it out over time.
It's not the same to trustee.
No, beneficiary is just simply saying, look, I want this money to go to this person. Yeah.
That's what I have to call Dan to rescue.
You can have it go to a trust, but that's a separate issue. But whoever you want the beneficiary to be, or it causes taxes immediately. The other thing is your medical and financial directors. Those are if you get incapacitated. Who are you giving authority to be able to write checks on your behalf, to be able to pay your bills? Who can make medical decisions for you? A will. That's just basically a statement that says how do you want any assets that don't have beneficiaries, how you want those to pass. Everyone understands that everyone here has a will. Meaning that if you have not created your own will, that the state has provided a will for you. So if you don't go out and sit down with an attorney that the state has created a will. If you have a very uncomplicated situation, complicated situation, maybe not so bad, but sometimes if you got complicated situations where if you got a blended family, that can have some issues for you. If you got a blended family, you got kids from another marriage or those types of things, it can get very screwy and get very screwy if you don't have a will in place. And then the last thing is trust. Not everyone needs to trust, but it can help for estate plan purposes to maximize the dollars that you leave into your family. They've raised the limits on those. So we don't find as many people necessarily needed them as much, but when used properly, those things can be effective also as a vehicle to be able to properly transfer assets. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I have. So I just want to give just a few things to take a look at. This is a nice little piece just for you guys to keep with your records. And with that, does anybody have any questions?
I have a question about your last couple of statements regarding trust. You said you're not finding that people need a trust as much as in the past.
Well, the estate. The reason why mainly one reason why people use trust is because of the taxes that can be generated when someone passes, and now they've raised those limits somewhere above 5 million per person. That if you don't have an estate for a couple that's over 10 million, that might not be a reason for you to use a trust. There may be other reasons why you want to use a trust. For example, we had a client who they had a special needs child, and so they used the trust to be able to help take care of that special needs child if something happened to them. So that's one reason they want to use a trust. Or if you want to be able to control the spigot of how your assets are distributed. So you want to say, look, hey, they get a little bit of money to this age, and then they get it all. You can do that. Or if you want to do
the trust can help monitor that.
Correct. So there are various reasons why you might want to use a trust, but it depends on your situation. And the best thing is to go speak to an attorney. Talk to them about your situation, see how complicated your situation is. Sometimes it's just easier just to just leave the beneficiary, leave your assets, list the beneficiaries that you want. Sometimes that's the best solution. If it's more complicated, sometimes you need a trust. It just sort of depends on your situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, did y'all enjoy Mr. Lee? Mr. Lee, if people want to get in contact with you, I'm sure that just give your number out again.
My number is 703-986-3490. And I have cards. If anybody wants some cards, they can come see me. And actually, we're not at giveaways, but my giveaway today is that whoever we pick, I will do a free financial assessment.
Wonderful. And that's the perfect segue to introduce the lovely T-Way. T? Connell, you did it in great time. It's 1:03. It's perfect. And so we'll have you out of here by 1:30. That was fantastic. Give Mr. Lee another